Coming to you live from the underground orbiting moon base, it's the LRRcast.
It's really the James and Paul
And
cast.
Paulcast.
Yeah.
I've dreamed about this
Really?
every night.
Mm.
Hey guys, as you can see, it's just me and Paul, which is very similar to last week, which was just Paul and Graham.
Yeah.
Uh,
Check it out.
he can see.
I am a Biclops once again.
He can talk. You're like 90%?
I'd say, yeah. I'd say it's definitely a lot better.
Like I can still see
like my blinking can be a little weird.
Yeah.
Still.
And the one side of your mouth still doesn't quite open as far as the rest, but it's voice wise it's completely gone.
It's so much better. Like it's being able to see out of both eyes and being able to eat food properly, and
eating food is pretty important.
being able to spit, which is not
Brushing
something you
your
really
teeth?
think about
Well,
too
I mean,
much.
when you brush your teeth and stuff. Yeah.
Pain in the butt. So it's very nice. So I was told that I was looking at like 4 to 6 weeks, and
it's been like
like 2. So yay. If somehow all the well wishes that everybody sent my way help with that, then thank you very much, guys. That was very touching, and I'm gonna keep my my sweet Solid Snake one eye patch avatar for a little while longer because I really like that avatar.
Pretty impressive. So last week I was gone with an ear infection, which is still sort of hanging around. I can't quite hear completely out of this ear, and Kathleen was, I think, still a little bit sick.
Yeah.
This week Graham is a bit sick.
Yeah.
And Kathleen is still not feeling 100%.
Yeah.
So we've told them to take the day off.
Yeah, it's quite the swath through the Loading Ready Run crew. The thing is, it's all been different stuff too. I think every single thing has not been like something we caught from another person.
No, so I don't know where my cold came from, but it was pretty bad. It wasn't the worst. I was sick the weekend we filmed Friday nights.
Right, right.
So you might notice that I was a little sick during that, and then I got about a day where I was feeling pretty good. Last Tuesday I felt awesome, and then Tuesday night my ear started bugging me, and by Wednesday night I was in excruciating pain, and that lasted for a couple days, and now it's gone. And then Kathleen got sick with something, and I think that's what Graham has. I'm assuming Graham got
I think Graham and Kathleen just have had a nasty cold.
Just a bad cold.
Yeah.
But I don't think they were the same cold I had. And then you got sick. I mean, it's good. I guess it's good that we all get sort of knocked out at the same time. It's tricky. Like, does it?
I don't think that is good.
It's not good and good at the same. Like, it's better than 2 of us getting knocked out and then a week later the next 2. I think if it's just 1 at a time, that's probably ideal. Right. Like, you want me to get sick and then you to get sick and then Kathleen and then Graham. Right. You don't want me and Graham and then you and Kathleen. And you certainly don't want like 3, because then that's just stupid, because then there's one person being like, I could do something, right?
Then you have like Matt doing the little hat dance.
Yeah, exactly. But then at least when it's all 4 of us,
fact,
it's just
we actually did a video all about that.
It's true. But at least when it's all 4, we're done, right?
We
can't do anything. We're just gonna have to make things work. So
I mean, that was actually one of the things, like when I had the palsy thing, that was one of the things that bugged me the most, is that I'm used to, like, when I'm sick, I'm sick.
Yeah.
Right. Like, when I have a bad cold or something, I'm just like laid out.
Yeah, exactly.
Watching TV, whatever, just like completely vegging out.
Yeah.
Whereas with the palsy, I felt physically fine.
Right.
But there's just a bunch of stuff that I couldn't really do properly. Like working on the computer and stuff was a lot harder because of only having one eye.
Right.
And so it was really frustrating because I was like, I don't feel like I just want to sit around all day. I want to like do stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway.
It's the worst. So anyways, we're going to talk about Yes Man, which is one of the videos that I was completely sick for, which I had not read the script. So that's one of the few videos. I think like this happens whenever I get sick. Is when I get sick, I'll make sure not to read the script ahead of time because I could.
Right.
I have access to it, but I was just like, I'll just leave it and then I'll watch it, and it's just like a video that I've never seen or heard or know anything about. So it was kind of cool. But that means just Paul can sit here and talk about it.
Did you like it?
I did. Yeah, it was good. I was kind of surprised. It's interesting because I think of it, I think in different ways, right? So when I turned it on, I'm like, another Action 9. Like we just did one. That seems kind of weird with the Moon one. Similar.
Oh, yeah.
Another
yes.
Action 9.
Yeah.
It's a news report. It's Action 9.
Yeah.
I was surprised, but it was a completely different thing.
Right.
That was, you wrote it?
Mostly. Yeah. It's like, I came up with the idea for it and did about sort of 2/3 of it, and then other people, like I was doing it sort of in the morning, and then sort of other people filtered into the office and we started sort of brainstorming and throwing ideas around for it.
But no, I liked it. I mean, it looked like it was a pretty easy shoot.
Yeah, it was actually weird because it was the pundit people were green screened.
Yeah.
So it made it so it was just like, all right, this person's shots, boom, do all this person's shots, boom. So in that sense, it was like there was quite a few different people we had to pull in and different things that we had to do, but each person's section was quite nice and self-contained,
right?
Which was good.
Actually, my initial thought, that's a lie. My initial thought was, good God, did they actually hang all those? Oh wait, no, we have a blank of that, don't we?
Yeah.
Like, there's no way they set up that new set, did they?
Yeah. That has actually served us well on a couple of occasions.
Yeah.
That we took some blank plates of the ENN set with the T-shirts and stuff behind it, which you will have seen in old making. I believe we've shown that on a few old videos. And when we replaced that with the checkpoint set, we took some blank plates of it. Which is just, some nice clean shots with high resolution shots so that we can set the desk up in front of the green screen and replicate it. And then, that's for the ENN set. But then of course the Action 9 set is the ENN set color corrected into red.
Right. Yeah.
Or with red t-shirts.
With red t-shirts. More importantly, with red t-shirts in behind.
So yeah, that it turned out. It turned out actually really well. Like it turned out pretty much exactly how I kind of imagined it would look.
Yeah.
Which is excellent. And I'm happy. Like, I don't know, like a bunch of people like on the forums and other places were like, ooh, like biting political satire or commentary about, whatever the news media system, which is not really, I mean, I guess it was
kind of.
Yeah. That was I wasn't really thinking about that strongly at the time. It was more just kind of this would be funny.
Right.
But I think it ended up being good. And I think it ended up being, a pretty solid indictment of that kind of terrible, just this. We were actually, when we were in the car yesterday, we were coming home, and they had, we were listening to the radio. I think it was like the BBC World Service or whatever.
It was. Yeah.
And they had these two commentators on. They were commentator from two universities or some think tank or something. But they were just first they were commentating on things that, they had brought them on for. But then they just kept them in the studio and kept doing other news reports. And then it would be so what did you think of this? They'd be like, sure, sounds good to me. And they'd be like, it's like, have you ever experienced this? Not really, but here's something that's sort of like that. It's just like how anybody would comment on something if just a random person asked your opinion on it.
Yeah.
People who aren't necessarily at all qualified. And in the case of the Yes Man thing, it's that they are, one is taking one side, one's taking the other side, regardless of what happens.
Right.
One has to always take that side, one has to always take the other side so that it's balanced. So, I was very happy with how it turned out, and there will be a loading time about it, which may be out by the time this is. Alex did shoot a loading time for it and edited it, and so that loading time might be out by the time this goes up. So which you can see us doing all the stuff on the green screen. And for some reason, there was like a whole bunch of people around at the office that day too. They're just like
hanging out.
Yeah, just there's some a lot of people just kind of hanging out and stuff too. So we had an audience.
Nice. Always makes it better.
Oh, and also actually, so we did the part that actually took the longest was Kate's part, the social media bit,
Okay.
and that was the part that that other people had the most input into, because of course I don't really know the social media stuff as well, and so it was just like, let's have a social media guy, and then we had Kate doing it, and so she just did it standing in front of the green screen, and then Kathleen and I were conferring afterwards about like, what actually would show up behind her.
Right.
And so I did up the sort of Twitter hashtag graphic, which when I did up the Twitter hashtag, I was like, Kathleen was like, do you need anything from me for the Twitter hashtag thing? Because she was doing the editing for it. And I was like, I just need to know what pose Kate is in, what part of the screen she's taking up. And then I was also like, so, and also, if you have any random ideas for stupid hashtags, feel free to send them through.
Right.
And then she sent like 10 through. And I was like, okay, you could stop sending hashtag ideas now. That's probably sufficient.
Fair
so
enough.
all those random hashtags are all Kathleen's ideas.
Nice. All right. So that was Yes Man. Did you have anything else?
You
guys talked about the Easter video last week.
Yes, I believe we did.
So there's not much else to talk about.
No, that's about it. I mean, I guess I can talk a little bit about strip search.
Yep.
Because we, so obviously it's a very controversial episode, this last episode. Doing the double elimination and then bringing Lexi back was pretty heavy duty. In actual fact, for me, my experience of doing it, how it worked out is that I didn't actually, I was sort of camera 3, I guess. And so because the elimination stage is really small and there's like 4 people who are actually doing stuff, right? There's Mike and Jerry and then the 2 people. We didn't actually need 3 cameras on the elimination stage. And so we had Jason and Sarah would go to the elimination stage, and then I would stay behind and do all the video dumping for the day, which turned out to take way longer than it was supposed to. And so I would just like find out about what happened when they got back, right? and I knew like the stuff that was going to happen at the eliminations, because we had worked out a lot of it, like in terms of how things were going to be destroyed and all that kind of stuff worked out beforehand. And so each time they'd be like, they would come back like from the first elimination and nothing was destroyed, right? Because they couldn't destroy the art because they liked it so much,
right?
And so I was like, okay, I guess we're not doing the destruction thing. And then the second time they did destroy the thing, but Kathleen did it, which was not originally part of the plan.
Right.
So I was like, oh, okay. And the third time they had like it took so long for them to come back because they had this huge debate and stuff. And so it took way longer than I expected for them to come back. And the third time they came out, like I didn't know about Lexi coming back until she walked in the door.
Awesome.
And so it was just like, okay, I guess we're doing this now.
Sweet.
So that was very cool. But it was very, very, very stressful for all that. And like I said, when I said like I didn't know what was going on, that's also me. Like it was certainly not. I know for a fact that it certainly was not anybody's plan to have that happen, right? I mean, it was what you see in strip search is really what happens, which is, that is the next day after Mike and Jerry saw some really amazing art that they couldn't bear to choose between. And then the next day they got some art they were really disappointed in, and they were like, oh, well, can we, it was just a spur of the moment thing. It's like, well, could we do this? It's like, yeah, that actually works. It's like, could we do this without messing up the entire rest of the competition? Yeah, I think we can do that. So
sweet. All right. So Askler?
Askler.
All right. Let's do some Askler right after these messages. All right. And we're back. And look at that. The camera angle changed, and it reveals an Alex. He was actually sitting in there the whole time.
Yeah.
I
it was
felt
just
kind of
keeping
bad.
really quiet.
Yeah. I feel kind of bad now.
I'm kind of an introvert, but
Oh, well. All right. So we said we were going to be back for Askler, and here we are. So we have a question. If anyone from the cast of Loading Ready Run ever won on a major news network, how badly would you troll them? I do.
the temptation's there. But like, would any of us actually do anything to deliberately sandbag them? I don't know.
Quite. It depends on the circumstances that they are on the major news network, I feel.
Yeah, if they're on the news network for like a stupid reason,
Then I will troll the shit out of you.
yeah.
If you're on there to further some sort of like serious problem, like to have a serious discussion about something.
Yeah, like a murder investigation. You're just like cracking jokes and stuff.
Yeah.
And they're like, that's not appropriate.
Yeah, exactly. So yes, but it depends on the situation. How much of a buffer do you have for each of your series? Well, let's see. Monday's Loading Ready Run video is currently not shot.
I was actually thinking on way like because we were talking about those games we played.
Yeah.
On the way over here, and that neither of us really have anything to
Talk about.
And I was like, you could probably actually look at those games we played and pretty accurately guess what our buffer looks like based on whether what we're talking about in those. Like if we talk about in those games that we haven't been playing anything new, that probably means our buffer is very low.
It's true.
Because we've been like, oh shit.
Like our buffer sort of comes and goes.
I mean, it's often the case where, we often build up buffer because we're about to use it, right?
Correct.
Yeah, like for packs, you guys always make a buffer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you have to do
Yeah.
a buffer.
For instance,
So-
like we go to Calgary at the end of the month. We're
Yeah.
gonna need a buffer.
But we're very bad at making a buffer when we don't need one.
Correct.
We at various times we have been in a good position on that, but this is not one of those times.
There was a fairly large chunk of last year where we were doing very, very well.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, and well, not unfortunately, but due to strip search, that's taking up quite a lot more time that would otherwise be spent doing other videos and stuff like that, right? So we still have enough time to do everything we do, but not enough time to shoot 2 videos in a weekend where it's just not feasible. Now, for instance, this weekend we were supposed to actually be shooting a video today, but because of Graham and Kathleen not feeling very well, they obviously need to get better, and it doesn't make sense to push them, so they get the day off, and we'll have to shoot a video tomorrow and then like a lot next week, which sucks, but it's how we work.
Yeah.
And it's always how we've worked. I think I've described it as organized chaos, and I will continue to do so.
Or just chaos.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's mostly just chaos. All right, next question is how many episodes of Friday Night were done this time for those games you play? Okay, so that's the first question. For Friday Nights this time, we are doing more than 4.
More than 4. Have we actually done?
But less than 1 million.
We haven't announced how many we're doing.
We have not.
But they will be coming out monthly. We can say
yeah,
that.
they come out monthly. There's more than 4, but less than 1 million is what I can keep telling you.
It'll
And
be a
and as
surprise.
long as and the way to hopefully to ensure that there will continue being them is to be positive about them to Wizards and
Absolutely. Like it.
so forth. So the if you find that if Friday Nights is a series that you really enjoy, and especially if it has gotten you back into Magic or got you into Magic or helped you get somebody into Magic, feel free to tell Wizards about it either on Twitter or email or whatever.
or in the comments of the YouTube
Because
or
that-
wherever.
That does make a big difference in terms of when they're looking at their budget in terms of whether they can keep Friday Nights going.
Exactly. So
I guess-
we know when we're supposed to finish. Hopefully you won't notice because we'll just keep going.
Yeah.
The takeaway is that this show has cumulative upkeep 100 viewers.
Exactly. So for those games we play, did you all get a chance to play Transistor at PAX East? I did not, but I heard some pretty incredible things about it.
What
I
is
didn't
it?
even know about Transistor until like 2 days ago when I saw the stuff on the PA report about it.
Oh, really? Okay.
But I'm super stoked about it. Like
Yeah.
it looks amazing. It's the new game from the guys who did Bastion.
Oh.
Also narrated by same guy, but different character.
That guy could narrate a phone book and they could sell it as DLC.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Next question is actually about the twist results of the strip search day 4 elimination, which we just talked about. So
And
that's,
I just watched like this morning.
yeah.
Mhm.
So
What a twist!
What a twist!
What a twist!
All right. Has Wizards explained why they keep giving you 5 drops to spoil? I would like to think that after the second time we made the joke,
Yeah, and
now Trick is just
we know the guys at Wizards well enough now that I would not be surprised that they were deliberately trolling us.
yeah. I think you'll. I hope we keep spoiling 5 drops.
Trolled with
'cause
5 drops.
I think that's pretty awesome.
It's like we're gonna actually. This set has no 5 drops in it except the one that we're gonna print just so we can troll Loading Ready Run
Yeah,
with it.
the card is fooled you. It does nothing, but it's a 5 drop.
Yeah, exactly. A couple questions from Dylan. How are you feeling? I understand a few of you were sick. We talked about that earlier, so question answered. Question 2 is, how are Desert Bus 7 plans? They're coming along. Don't worry. What are some things you were doing differently this time shooting/writing Friday nights? Well, the big difference is we're not filming them all at once.
Yeah.
Like we did with the first series. In terms of,
I mean, there's a lot of stuff in terms of just because we are more familiar with Wizards of the Coast and what they are expecting and what their requirements are.
yeah,
So that we still have there's still a back and forth on the scripts and stuff to make sure that we do everything that's on the up and up with their brand marketing people.
right.
But we're a lot better at that now, and we can go into it knowing that we can't have stuff in the background that will get us in trouble and things.
Yeah, because
Rather than have to going in like blurring it manually
there were
afterwards.
some issues that you guys weren't maybe aware of the first time. Now that's
Yeah.
Now
more
that's different.
familiar. You're like, okay, we can't do this. We can do this.
Yeah.
This works.
And-
that doesn't.
And it is nice to, because we are, as opposed to the first series, which we filmed all at once, now we're doing it as we go, which means that we can react to feedback from people.
Exactly.
And timely events and stuff like that.
And yeah, and also it's super nice not to be, it was fine with the old Friday nights, but it was a shame that, when it came out, the set that we were talking about wasn't the new set.
Oh
Yeah.
man, maybe we get to do.
And
an
so, I mean, we
actual-
made a joke about that in the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe we get to do an actual pre-release episode shot at the pre-release.
Exactly.
Who knows?
Who knows? Have you guys considered inviting some of the artists from Strip Search to Desert Bus?
No,
No,
but that's a good idea.
Not a bad idea. Lastly, this is from Dylan again. He has one more question. How about that BioShock? Now, we're not going to record those games we played this week, because we haven't played that many games. That being said, Alex is here, and he has played BioShock. So very quickly, tell us your initial impressions of BioShock.
I'm very impressed. I think it's a really good game.
How far are you in it?
I'm not sure, and I'm not sure how to articulate that without spoilers. I'll just say,
How many hours?
not keeping track of that. What I'll say is I've gotten to the point where Elizabeth changes her outfit,
Okay.
and that'll tell anybody who's
Spoiler.
spoilers. Well, I mean, if anybody's seen any of the previews, she gets a different costume.
Hmm.
It's like, oh no, yeah. It's really fun, and the story's interesting. In some ways, I'm actually more invested in the story than some of the gameplay, which isn't to say that the gameplay's bad. It's really fun.
Did you play BioShock?
Yep.
The original? Yeah.
I think this one might actually be better. I mean,
Wow.
to me.
Nice.
Like, I really like BioShock, but this one's just like, whoa. It's
Nice.
It's real good.
Sweet.
So, play it.
I'm oh man. I again, like, I was talking about, I found out about what is it, not circuit, whatever the
Transistor?
Transistor.
Yeah.
But the other game that I just found out, just saw the preview stuff for, that I'm super stoked about, Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon.
Wait, what?
It's gonna be so ridiculous.
Is it just DLC?
No. It's Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon is it's basically like it's a XBLA game,
Okay.
completely independent from Far Cry 3. You don't have to have Far Cry 3. But it's using the Far Cry 3 engine and a lot of the same game mechanics, except it was designed to be a terrible 80s movie. Apparently what they were going for was like RoboCop 3. Like, not even RoboCop, like RoboCop 3.
Oh, man.
And so you're a cyborg guy you're fighting against this like they've got like these sweet like 80s cell animation cutscenes.
Oh my god.
And oh man, like there's stuff like listening to the developers for it. They did stuff like when they were reskinning the bad guys, they had
Pink mohawks.
they had a budget for reskinning them, being it's like, okay, when you're putting the equipment on this guy, he can't have more than like $150 worth of stuff on him.
Oh, that's such a great idea.
And so they said like there's like the heavy flamer guy actually has like a toaster on his head and like and he has like a vacuum cleaner on his bed. Like he's like set up as if he was a guy from a terrible B movie. Like even though
that's incredible.
Even though it takes just as much, if not more, work to model that stuff. In 3D.
There's like a virtual budget for like to make the props intentionally way worse.
Yeah. And there's like
sounds so beautiful.
And there's hunting just like there is in Far Cry 3, except the things that you're hunting are like laser lizards. They shoot lasers out of their eyes.
Well, obviously they're laser lizards. How else would they shoot lasers?
I'm pretty stoked about the thing. It's coming out.
Man.
It's coming out in May. So.
All right. Well, that answers the next question. Was what game are you most looking forward to this year?
Well, now I know the answer. To
Yeah.
that.
So do I.
We did a story about it for the upcoming checkpoint. So
Sweet.
Wow.
All right. Next question is from Erica. The second batch of Friday Night seems less introductory, explanatory, more in jokes. Is that an intentional shift in audience?
I mean, I think it's that. I mean, we sort of went away from like we can't do the somebody learns magic again. Right?
Well, so when we got the first 4-episode series, we knew that we wanted to do that Paul's getting into magic story arc.
Right.
And then a fairly significant amount of time passed between obviously the first season and the second season. And we realized that going into the second season that we would have a lot more time than the first, so that it would give us more of a chance to do sort of just one-off episodes and then maybe explore those story arcs later. I
mean, we also wanted to show lots of different ways of playing Magic.
Exactly. We don't want to get
different formats.
We don't want to get too inside baseball.
No.
We try to walk that line as best we can between if somebody who's been playing Magic for a week compared to somebody who's been playing Magic for 15 years, both those audiences find what we do funny, then I think we're doing exactly what we want to be doing.
Yeah, and I mean the feedback from people has been really good in that regard as to, if it's a good way to judge whether we're sort of hitting that line. And
yeah.
I think, I mean, people have been, I've seen people say that, people who aren't really into Magic, being they still enjoy just sort of the character stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I mean, you want to make jokes first and then also have it magical.
Exactly.
Right. It has to work, on a humor level, and you don't want to rely too much on, like you said, inside baseball. It's like if you start cracking jokes about holding priority and stack order, it's like the 4 people who get it will be laughing.
Wouldn't it be funny if the stack was last in, last out?
That would be so funny.
That would be so weird. It would make no sense.
Oh dear. So yeah, I mean I hope you guys are enjoying it. So next question is about WrestleMania. I did not watch it.
No,
I know Graham didn't. I know Graham. Yeah, it says here, and it says what did Graham think of it. I don't even know if he's watched it yet. No, he must have. I know he didn't. He couldn't watch it live, and he was bummed. But
yeah, I seem to recall him. He's saying he actually had to like unsubscribe from a couple of Twitter people.
Yeah, just so he didn't get spoiled.
I haven't seen WrestleMania in such a long time. I think I watched one of their pay-per-views like eons ago.
Yeah. All right, couple more questions. Since all Canadians know each other, do you guys listen to Decoder Ring Theater, home of the Red Panda Adventures? I don't know what that is.
No, there aren't any red pandas in Canada, though. That's not a Canadian thing.
We could make some.
I don't know what's going on.
Like a panda with like Canadian print spots.
I mean, there aren't really any, like, the only pandas in Canada are in zoos, too. Pandas are not a Canadian animal in general, so.
All right.
I don't know I don't know what that's going.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. We'll look it up. We'll figure it out. All right, last question's from David. It's about Strip Search. He would like to know if you guys had any input on what happened this week. Or was that all sort of a...
I'm not... I think the main thing was that it was possible. Because, like, because the thing is that it wouldn't have worked to double eliminate or to not eliminate when we was just Tavis and Lexi, because then it would have messed up the challenge. Like the graffiti challenge, there would have been one team of 4 and 2 teams of 3 and stuff, right? And so the schedule is set up for a certain number of people each time, and so I guess in the influence we had was that it's like I guess as long as one person is coming back. Who that person is doesn't
really
matter too much.
Yeah.
So I guess you guys could do that. I think that was the main part, but Graham and Kathleen might have more insight into
that. All right. So maybe ask that on the forums, and Graham and Kathleen will be able to hit you up with an answer. I think that's it. That was all the questions. Our little hourglass or 29-minute glass has run out of time. So
right. Thanks for hanging out with us, Alex.
What now?
I think we just stop.
Now we turn the lights off. And see what happens.
Let's get this done. All right, we'll see you guys next week.